everyone. In this video, we are going to write exponential equation of the form y equals ab raised to the power x given 2 points. In this video, we are not going to use logarithms in solving this kind of problem. Let's take this first example right here. Determine the exponential equation of the graph that passes through points -1, 6 and -4, 48. We have some steps to follow in order that we can solve this problem. The first step that we're going to do is to set up the two equations using the two given points and isolate the a. So I'm just going to label this as S1 right here. So then the 2 points that are given to us are okay, now what are we going to do next is we are going to set up the equation of the form y equals ab to the power x. Remember that in this ordered pair, the first number is the x and the second number is the y. The same thing for this. Now we are going to plug this x and y into the equation here. So first we have a y which is 6. So I plug in the 6 here. And then that is equal to, a is missing, we don't know what that is. And then the b is missing as well, but we're given an x which is -1. Okay, so we can go ahead and simplify this. Please remember that if we have a negative exponent and we want the exponent to become positive, so if we're given a fraction a over b with a negative exponent, in order that we make the exponent positive, we flip the fraction. So in this case right here, b is the one that is raised to the power -1, so a is not included on it. Now remember that b has an invisible denominator of 1, so then it comes like a fraction, a over b. So then I can go ahead and rewrite this as 6 is equal to a parentheses, I flip it. Once I flip the fraction, the -1 will turn into a positive 1. So this becomes flip, that's 1 over b raised to the power +1. So then from here, we can simplify this some more. So this would come out 6 is equal to a. So 1 raised to the power 1 is 1. And then b raised to the power 1 is b. So then we can go ahead and simplify this as 6 is equal to, multiply a times 1 is a over b. Now it says that in this step, we're supposed to isolate a by itself. So then we can go ahead and multiply both sides by b so that we can isolate a by itself. So then the first equation that we have here then would be, so we can cross the b and the b here. So this would come out a is equal to 6b. So this is the equation using the first point. Now let's find the other equation using the second point. So in this case right here, we remember our y is 48. So I plug in 48 here, and that is equal to, that's gonna be a, and then b raised to the power -4. So it's pretty much the same thing as what we did over here. So again, remember that this is having an invisible denominator of 1. So remember, if we have a fraction with a negative exponent, we flip the fraction and the negative exponent will turn into a positive exponent. So pretty much the same thing as we did over here. So I'm just going to show the work here. Okay, based on the work that I placed here, so we have an a, and then since this is a -4, I turn it into a +4 by flipping the fraction, so that becomes 1 over b raised to the power 4, because 1 raised to the power 4 is 1, b to the power 4 is b to the 4th. So then 1 times a is a, and then we have a b to the 4th. Now we want to isolate a by itself, so then we can go ahead and multiply both sides by b to the 4th and multiply this by b to the 4th. So then we can go ahead and cross this out. We are left with a is equal to, that's gonna be 48b to the 4th. So this is the equation using the second point. Now we're ready to move on to the second step. So I'm just gonna label this as a second step right here. The second step is to solve for b using these two equations. Since we see that both of them are equal to a is equal to a, so then these two are equal to each other. So this 48b to the fourth and 6b are equal to each other because both of them are equal to a. So then we can go ahead and rewrite that up here. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do, again, we want to solve for b, so we are going to divide, we want b by itself on one of the sides, so then we can go ahead and divide both sides by b. So I divide this by b, I divide this by b right here, so I can cross the b out. So I am left with 6 is equal to, that's gonna be, we have 1b at the bottom, and so we want to take 1b from the top here, so we're left with 3. So then that would equal to 48b to the third power. Now after that, we are supposed to solve, again, we're supposed to solve for b. So we're going to divide both sides by 48. So I divide this by 48. I'm going to divide this by 48. So then I can cross the 48 out. I'm left with b to the third power is 6 over 48. Now, I want the b by itself. So, but before we can do that, we can actually reduce this to its lowest term. So, we can have b to the third power. 6 goes to 6 one time. And 6 goes to 48 8 times. So, I can go ahead and write that as 1/8. Now, I am supposed to determine the value of b here because that is b cubed. Now, in order that we can undo the cubed, we are going to cube root both sides. Now, if this was 7, then we 7th root both sides. So this exponent will tell us what root do we use. Since this is a third power, so we're going to cube root both sides. And I'm going to cube root the other side so I can cross the cubed and cube root. So I am left with b now. So b is actually equal to the cube root of 1/8. Today I'm going to show you 4 methods to solve this expression right here. b is equal to cube root of 1/8 because in some cases it can be to the fifth root or 7th root. So the first method is using decimals. So what are we going to do is we are going to press the function and then we hit the miscellaneous and then we are going to hit the radical symbol and then we put in the 3 and then we put in the 1/8 and we can see that the answer here is 1/2. So our b here is 1/2. So I'm just going to write that down here. Now, the next way that we can solve for b here is using the scientific calculator. So I'm going to show that up here. So the one that we press here would be 3 because that's the cube root. If this was 5, then we hit 5. If this was 7, then we hit 7. And then we go to second, then we go to arrow up, and then we put the 1/8. So I'm just going to put this inside of parentheses. So parentheses 1 divided by 8. And that would give us 0.5 or 1/2. So that's using the calculator. The other way to do it is to use the other calculator here, TI-84. So I'm just showing you all the possible calculator that you can use and how to set them up. So first we are going to press 3. So it's pretty much the same thing. Press 3 and then you go to math and then you go to number 5, the one with the x root. So then we hit this and it will set up for us. And then we write 1 divided by 8. And that should give us 1/2. And so the answer is 0.5. So it's pretty much the same thing. So that's the third method. The other method is just by looking at it. So if we say third root, that means what number is multiplied 3 times will give 8. So that number is 2. So that if you have 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So the cube root of 8 is 2. And then the cube root of 1 is 1. So pretty much we have 1/2. Now we're ready to move on to the third step. The third step is to solve for a using any of the equations from step 1. So we can use any of these. So let's just pick the first one right here, which is a is equal to 6b. So then I can go ahead and plug in the b, which is 1/2. So this is going to be 6. And then I'll put in the b, which is 1/2 here. So then half of 6 is 3. So this will be our b. So looking at these solutions that we did, the ones that are needed in order that we can set up the equation would be our value for b and our value for a. So then we are now ready to move on to the fourth step. So in step 4, we are supposed to set up the equation. So it's pretty much in this form. So that is y is equal to our a is 3 and our b is 1/2. And that should be raised to the power x. And this is the equation that would work for this problem right here. This means that if we graph this equation, it's going to pass through -1, 6 and -4, 48. On the side, you can see the Desmos version of this equation, y equals 3 parentheses 1/2 raised to the power x. As you can see in the picture, as you can see on the graph, you will see that this graph is passing through -1, 6 and -4, 48. So those are the points. That's it. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!